And yeah.
Bad boy in, go to Rosalind's Madison Coin Shop, show him that, then you can live anywhere you would like. Alright? Bigfoot takes us out. The Powwow Show.
Stop that. Let's go in the bud. Okay.
Things will start to turn from green to brown. Updates immediately. It's ready to burn on KFBK. Prepare for the worst. Sacramento's News Radio. ARF, you know. That's what we call American River Flooring. ARF, American River Flooring. You know I talk about them all the time. And even the people over at that other station know that I'm fixing up my house apparently, so thank you for that message.
Please enter your code by touching the corresponding buttons.
5 years of work.
Touch enter when finished.
We started on this, we put in recording, then came the paint, told y'all about it. Share the photos on Facebook, the before and after, or before and after photos.
Thank you. Please pull forward slowly into the wash.
Damn, I wish they would make things like for sure people like me.
Once I did that, I had a friend that did it, then my brother just showed me his new cabinet, American River Flooring. I mean, they're spreading the love, man.
Oh, this is this. I'm gonna get something to eat. I don't care. That was my. I like his tattoos. His neck and everything. Oh, it's so fucking hot. Why can't I be like a guy like that? Oh, it's so fucking hot. I guess I can do it. Oh, what? I'll do this.
You know, it's not just language; it's music. This is a form of art, and so it's protected.
The defendant is not guilty.
I said, I think we can win. I said, but even if you lose, you'll win. And he said, what does that mean? I said, well, if the government says people can't have something, everyone is going to want to have it. And then you'll win. The record will be a big hit. And that's how we started.
Through the court cases, backlash from lawmakers, and protest against the group, Two Live Crew kept climbing the charts. But another battle was brewing over parody, the sampling of other artists' music, specifically Roy Orbison's hit song, Pretty Woman. Pretty woman, walking down the street. On the clean version of As Nasty As They Wanna Be, titled As Clean As They Wanna Be, they included a parody of the song. And this one would go all the way to the Supreme Court in 1994.
Pretty Woman, we didn't really think of it like we was really doing anything out the way or different than what we normally do. You know, a publishing company and the record company that had the Roy Orbison music looked at it as a money grab. They didn't look at it like it was a form of art. They looked at it as a form of stealing somebody else's work.
After being denied permission to sample the copyrighted song, Uncle Luke and company decided to publish the song anyway as a parody fair use and parity.
And so that was a great case. So he made law really on two fronts. He made law in terms of the First Amendment and obscenity, and he made law in terms of copyright law. Not too often that a rapper gets to make both federal constitutional law and federal copyright law.
I knew that if we don't take on this fight for hip-hop, that people will go to make.
Now there's one ongoing case that is putting into question what constitutes freedom of speech.
A judge will decide if his own rap lyrics can actually be used in a RICO case against him.
What are your opinions on his case and any similarities that you might see with what Two Live Crew went through?
I don't ever think any prosecutor should use lyrics against the artist. Writing is an art form, you know, and you have to write from the standpoint of what's going on today in the streets.
Mr. Mix with a different opinion.
It's just foolish to me that a person would say that we murdered some guys. I think that they're learning now that if you do something like that, it's fair game because you don't want to put it out there. They didn't put it out there, you put it out there.
While legal battles remain with hip-hop music, artists continue to push the boundaries.
The scene where it's at today, you know, I'm like a proud dad of it all. You know, I love it.
Victor Akendo from Miami. Victor, thank you. And that's our show for this hour. I'm Phil Lipoff. Stay with ABC News Live for more context and analysis of the day's top stories. Thanks for streaming with us. And coming up in the next hour, heavy flooding and a river breaking its banks. The warnings in India as it experiences a particularly strong monsoon season. And President Biden delivers harsh words directed at Vladimir Putin, why he says it's not in Russia's interest to continue the war in Ukraine.
You're ready to share your grandma's pan dulce recipe. With Union Bank joining U.S. Bank, get access to more branches, bankers, and digital resources.
Are you ready to step up for the planet? To go the distance to make a difference? From food security in Senegal to protecting forests in Panama, Peace Corps environment volunteers are working hand in hand with welcoming communities. Are you ready to serve? Let's see where skills and passion for the environment can take you. Join us. Visit peacecorps.gov/role.
This week, your local grocery outlet has some amazing deals on fresh fruit that's perfect for a summer snack. Stop by and grab some amazing cherries for only $1.49 a pound. That's a savings of up to 79% versus traditional grocery stores. And that's not all. Pick up 18 ounces of delicious fresh blueberries for only $3.99. That's a savings of up to 50%. Offers only good through July 18th, so enjoy these savings while you can. Grocery outlet, bargain market.
As a parent, no 2 days are ever the same. At Care.com, you can find trusted and flexible sitters to help manage your family's ever-changing schedule. Care.com can even help you out with housekeepers, dog walkers, senior caregivers, and more, so you can find care for all you love. And 100% of caregivers who use Care.com have been background checked with CareCheck, a key first step in hiring confidently. To get the help you need to make it all work, sign up now and find a great sitter at Care.com.
At American United, we understand that giving growth for one another can be a difficult process. It's flexible data makes it extra time to understand process to help you financing for loans in life and others. Visit American United for more to get started today. American United is federally insured by the NCUA and is an equal
sugar. The World Health Organization, though, says you shouldn't consume it. The Food and Drug Administration says it's okay.
The World Health Organization saying research shows that the artificial sweetener aspartame may cause cancer in humans. You can find it in everything from diet sodas to chewing gum to ice cream to toothpaste. But the U.S. Food and Drug Administration disagrees, saying aspartame is one of the most studied ingredients and when used properly in food, poses no risk to humans. Food makers have not announced any plans to take it out of their products.
ABC's Andy Field. The FDA-approved O-Pill, the first over-the-counter birth control pill, no prescription necessary. Women and girls will soon be able to obtain contraceptive medication as easily as they buy aspirin or eye drops.
I think the reason this is happening right now is we're finally having a necessary conversation about how backwards we are with respect to some reproductive rights issues.
ABC News medical contributor Dr. Alec Patel.
It's about time, because we are praising this move in the United States, whereas over 100 countries elsewhere already have an over-the-counter option.
With Ukraine's counteroffensive showing modest gains a month in, President Biden made a bold assessment of Putin's deadly adventurism.
There is no possibility of him winning the war in Ukraine. He's already lost that war.
Mr. Biden was in Helsinki meeting with the president of the newest member nation of NATO. ABC News sources say Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, was among top aides who testified before special counsel Jack Smith's grand jury about the insurrection.
The special counsel is specifically trying to establish whether Trump knew that he had lost the election and therefore knowingly committed illegal acts to try to overturn an election that he knew he lost.
ABC's Jonathan Carl. You're listening to ABC News.
In the Coast Guard, every day is an opportunity to discover your passion, to go on an adventure, to find your crew, to make an impact. Don't limit yourself. Visit GoCoastGuard.com today to join.
Stop by your local grocery outlet to participate in our annual Independence from Hunger Drive. This is a great way to support your local food organizations. So take part in our Give 5, Get 5 program. Donate $5 and get a $5 coupon for a future visit. Donations made in-store stay in your local community. Join us in our fight against hunger by visiting your local grocery outlet today. Going on now through the end of July.
As a parent, no 2 days are ever the same. At Care.com, you can find trusted and flexible sitters to help manage your family's ever-changing schedule. Care.com can even help you out with housekeepers, dog walkers, senior caregivers, and more, so you can find care for all you love. And 100% of caregivers who use Care.com have been background checked with CareCheck, a key first step in hiring confidently. To get the help you need to make it all work, sign up now and find a great sitter at Care.com.
The government provided a second dose of improving news on inflation, this time reporting on wholesale inflation.
The producer price index showed wholesale prices increased by just 0.1% last month. They're low.
Approaching a railroad crossing.
Lowest monthly increase in almost 3 years. But the Federal Reserve is expected to go forward with another interest rate hike later this month, especially after the weekly unemployment filings fell by 12,000. Fed has said unemployment above 4% will help cut inflation. Right now, that number holds at 3.6%. Brian Clark, ABC News.
Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas paid a visit to the International Mail Facility at New York City's Kennedy Airport, observing Customs and Border Protection operations, identifying and tracking all manner of illegal materials shipped through the U.S. mail. And it's not just the Postal Service.
We are working with the shipping companies. We are working with the private sector because this takes a holistic, really requires a holistic approach to address the different means by which the contraband is sought to be smuggled into the United States.
An appellate-level court in Oklahoma threw out the first-degree murder conviction of Robert Leon Hashhagen III. His lawyers appealed after new evidence emerged that the judge and the prosecutor were involved.
Approaching a railroad crossing.
In a sexual relationship that they didn't tell anybody about. This is ABC News.
news with the latest headlines, live from our radio newsroom. Now let's go back to ABC News Live.
Temperatures at or above 110 degrees. Asphalt like this, baking in the sun, this about 160 degrees. It absorbs the heat during the day and then releases it overnight, which means even when the sun goes down, the city doesn't cool down as much as it should. In Houston, the extreme heat nearly costing 63-year-old John Longoria his life, collapsing while mowing his lawn.
I drove myself to the nearest fire station, and once I got there, they checked me out, and I was having a heart attack. I think sometimes we don't take it for granted that it's hot out there.
The heat wreaking havoc on land and at sea. 40% of the global ocean now experiencing a severe marine heat wave. The water temperature off southern Florida hit a shocking 98 degrees, threatening the precious coral reefs. If we lose our coral, we're going to lose our fish, we're going to lose livelihoods for everybody else, and we're going to lose our jobs because there'll be nobody wanting to see the reefs. Europe also baking in a blistering heat wave. Italy, France, Greece, and Spain all bracing for temperatures near 104 degrees. And experts say these punishing heat events are more frequent, intense, and longer due to human-caused climate change.
Let's bring in Matt now from Phoenix. Matt, is there any relief at night from this kind of scorching heat? We know what the days are like.
Yeah, unfortunately, Phil, there's not. I mean, we've been getting up before dawn every day since we've been here in Phoenix, and when you walk out the hotel, I can tell you, it's not any cooler. In fact, here in Phoenix, it has been 4 straight days since the city recorded a temperature of less than 90 degrees at any point. That, Phil, is closing in on an all-time record.
At any point. All right, Matt Rivers, thanks so much. All right, let's get right to senior meteorologist Rob Marciano, who's tracking that extreme heat and the severe weather. Hey, Rob.
Hey, Phil, the rain is about to get into the flood zone there in Vermont, not just with heavy rain, but potentially damaging winds. You can't catch a break. Check it out on the radar. This is all within a severe thunderstorm watch that stretches throughout much of upstate New York and all of Vermont. And there's a flood watch as well, because these storms can have 2-3 inches of rainfall in them, and that will cause more in the way of flooding. They've already knocked down trees across parts of upstate New York. So Rutland, Ludlow, Montpelier, just a matter of an hour or two before it's there. Clears out tonight, but look at tomorrow. Another batch of rain coming into not just New England, but the I-95 corridor, and probably more in the way of storms coming to New England over the weekend. All right, the heat continues to build across the Central Plains and Southern Plains, Louisiana, Arkansas now in the warnings, and also the alerts are building into the Pacific Northwest. 102 expected in Redding tomorrow, 113 in Palm Springs. We'll look at the next 4 days. We're going to peak the heat, it looks like Saturday and Sunday, but not really cool things off in a dramatic fashion. A matter of fact, that streak of 110 or better in Phoenix will likely continue into next week. Phil?
Oh, it's going to be tough for a lot of folks. All right, Rob Marciano, thanks so much. While in Finland, President Biden had strong words for Vladimir Putin, saying Putin has already lost the war in Ukraine. He also talked about Wall Street Journal reporter Evan Gershkovich saying he's willing to swap a prisoner for the reporter's release. ABC's James Longman in Ukraine tonight.
Ukrainian officials claim they shot down 20 drones fired by Russia overnight, up towards the capital Kyiv. Falling wreckage, destroying homes and injuring several people. The attack, Russia's answer to the public promises from President Biden and NATO allies that Ukraine will join the alliance, although there's no timeline yet. In Helsinki today, Biden insisted Russian President Putin cannot afford to fight forever.
There is no possibility of him winning the war in Ukraine. He's already lost that war.
Adding Putin may eventually realize it's not in Russia's interest to continue the fight.
My hope is, and my expectation is, you'll see that Ukraine makes significant progress on their offensive, and that it generates a negotiated settlement somewhere along the line.
But Ukraine's counteroffensive has only made modest gains in a month of heavy fighting. For 500 days, Chazov Yar has been on the eastern front line, the mayor explaining what the fight means for his town. When they push the Russians further away, he says, they'll not be able to reach us. Just then, our translator cut off by the sound of heavy artillery.
Heavy artillery?
Okay. These are good sounds. The mayor responds, yes.
James Longman joins us now from Ukraine. And James, President Biden also addressing efforts to get Americans like Wall Street Journal reporter Evan Gershkovich released from Russian prisons, right?
Yeah, that's right, Phil. President Biden said today he's serious about pursuing a prisoner swap for Evan Gershkovich. He's been in Russian custody for more than 100 days now. His parents told ABC News this week that the president told them he'd do whatever it takes to bring Evan home. There are other Americans as well. Paul Whelan, he's been detained since December 2018. So I think this will be heartening for all Americans who have families who are currently detained in Russia. Phil?
Absolutely. James Longman from Ukraine. James, thanks. The New York City attorney accused of being a serial rapist in Boston has pleaded not guilty to new charges. Matthew Nilo, who was already charged with sexually assaulting 4 women in Boston 15 years ago, has now been charged with 5 more sex assaults during the same time period. Authorities say they use new DNA technology and genealogy to link him to those attacks. Here's ABC's Ariel Reshev.
Matthew Nilo, the New York attorney accused of being a serial rapist in Boston, tonight is once again free on bail, despite facing new charges of sexually assaulting 4 more women.
How do you plead to those offenses, guilty or not guilty?
One of Nilo's accusers, Lori Pinkham, just steps away from the man she says attacked her in 2007.
It was actually pretty, shocking. I'm angry at him.
The 35-year-old lawyer has pleaded not guilty in a string of chilling attacks on at least 8 women 15 years ago that sent a shock of fear through Boston.
The suspect is targeting women who are by themselves in the State Street area.
And now we're learning from a police report that Nilo was arrested in the same neighborhood of the attacks in July of 2008 for marijuana possession. The district attorney telling ABC News Nilo was questioned back then about a sexual assault in the area. According to prosecutors, Nilo went on to attack 2 more women. As for Lori Pinkham, she plans to be in court every step of the way.
He's not going to get away with it.
What would you say to the suspect, to Matthew Nilo?
That the city belongs to us, and we're not your victims, they're your prey.
Phil, Nilo is required to wear a GPS monitor, and he is allowed to return to his home in New Jersey. His trial is set for next summer. Phil?
All right, Ariel, thank you. The Secret Service has concluded its investigation into cocaine recently found in the White House. The agency says no surveillance video footage could point them to any leads, and not even advanced fingerprint or DNA analysis could help them determine who left it there. Following today's closed-door briefing, House Oversight Committee Republicans said the Secret Service inability to determine who is responsible is, quote, a failure of the agency. Now to a court ruling here in New York that could have major implications for what party controls Congress after the 2024 election. The New York Appeals Court today in Albany ordered the state to redraw the congressional House map, ruling the court-drawn districts put into place for last year's midterms were just a temporary fix. If upheld, this decision will allow Democrats to shift a much-contested battleground leftward, gaining as many as 6 seats in the House. Republicans plan to appeal to the state Supreme Court. Still much more to get to tonight. Coming up, he is an actor and filmmaker who's growing a large TikTok following. How Aubrey Smalls is using his platform to educate his audience on dwarfism. But next, traveling to a different country to get food, why some families are traveling across borders for groceries.
You have perfected your grandma's pan dulce recipe, and now you're ready to share it with your community. With Union Bank joining U.S. Bank, get access to more branches, bankers, and more digital resources at your fingertips with U.S. Bank's Smart Assistant in your language. More than ever, we're committed to creating access that fuels your determination to thrive, so you can give your customers the best experience and the sweetest pan dulce. Learn more at usbank.com/more. Member FDIC.
How can I help you? I want to do a large fry and 2 apple pies. Anything else? And a large Coke as well. Anything else? And that's it. It's going to be 988. Thank you. Ooh, perfect. Oh, there we go. I'm going to go slow here. Ooh.